Let's play a game. You have the chance to win an exclusive, invaluable, outstanding reward if you get this question right. This is Joe. Joe has recently gotten a new job. A quiet and organized person, she finds enjoyment through the small things in life. One of her strengths is attention to detail. Out of the following occupations, which one is Joe most likely to be? Time's up. The answer to our previous question is a salesperson. Now you might be thinking, what? Let me explain. This question is a statistical one. In the UK, there are over 800,000 sales and marketing professionals, more than twice of the second most frequent occupation. With no further information, Joe is most likely to be a salesperson, as they make more of the populations than any other. The description that we gave you was redundant, and yet it illustrates a very interesting phenomenon. Heuristics. Not heretics, by the way, that's different. Our ability for cognition and problem solving is the hallmark of us as a species. And while we're often good at what we do, sometimes we just make stupid decisions. But why though? Let's backtrack a little bit. Cognition is a thinking process that dictates how we solve problems. We rely on concepts, which are mental categories of similar things. We represent these through prototypes, the best example that our minds conjure to actualize these abstract concepts. So, for example, if I say the word plant, you would immediately think about this cute little green sprout inside a brown pot because that's what plant is to us, or at least to me. Concepts simplify our thinking. Without concepts, we won't have a similar understanding of a particular thing, requiring a new definition to actually get somewhere. These guys, for example, are tasked to put a list of names into groups in such a way they most think is correct. Some of you may recognize that these are Latin names for different species, but they don't know that. With no further information, it's difficult to solve the problem in a timely manner. It took us exactly 10 minutes and 39 seconds for them to finish or reach a consensus. I then switched up the task by giving them pictures rather than Latin names for the same kinds of species, and they were able to finish grouping them faster, in less than a minute. Essentially, having a prototype for a plant, an animal, a mushroom makes it easier for us to understand concepts, and this speeds up problem solving. But prototypes help our thinking as much as they box our thinking. If I were to tell you that the banana plant is an herb, you'd probably look at me weird. It's a tree, right? The game that you played at the start of this video is a demonstration of representative heuristics, where you make quick decisions in the face of uncertainty based on mental prototypes. Depending on your culture, a quiet and organized person who pays attention to detail might represent your prototype for a librarian, for example. It might seem weird to accept that salesperson as the more likely option. But if I asked you what my other friend Sam is more likely to be, with no other information, you'd probably think salesperson. I'm going to illustrate another example. Coin flips. Using a normal coin, it's not biased in any way, I'm going to flip it several times, getting either a head or a tail. Which of the following sequence is most likely to occur? Got your answer? They are equally likely by the rules of probability. You just selected the first one because it fits your prototype for randomness more. Prototypes can backfire when we make no room for their evolutions. We are constrained by the same mental set when viewing a problem. Say you're building a Scandinavian furniture and you're halfway through when you realize, damn, I don't have a hammer. Mental prototype prompts you to search the whole house for a hammer, when in reality, you just needed to put the nail in the furniture and you can use a brick, a rock, the back of a screwdriver, like I did. But on a more serious note, mental prototypes can lead to more serious issues. Racism, misogynism, heuristics, like previously mentioned, occurs because some of our prototypes are so firmly implanted that our concepts fail to evolve as social context evolves. Some people still believe that women can't work or that men can't be stay-at-home dads. It just doesn't feel right. So what can we do? Understand that as much as heuristics help us make decisions, it also limits our thinking. Get to know how your prototypes came to be. Our culture and upbringing shapes how our prototypes are formed. Be aware of how they differ then to now and how these prototypes should evolve. Understand how prototypes affect your judgment. Give yourself time to think if they are inhibiting you from viewing a problem rationally. While this may not always be possible, do give it a shot whenever you're given a chance. Finally, keep an open mind. Expose yourselves to different cultures to gain a new perspective. This will help challenge your pre-existing prototypes. If you answered all the questions correctly, here's a blue ribbon for you.